Here we go. All right. Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to the very first episode of Skinny Zach Reviews. I'm your host, Skinny Zach. In this episode, we have cartoonist slash comedic reviewer CR, aka Chad Rocco. Mr. Rocco is most known in the YouTube community for his series Familiar Faces, where he showcases lesser-known fictional characters from cartoons, movies, live-action shows, comics, and video games, alongside his other series like Cheap Damage, Thrifty Finds, Can You Believe It? CR is also a lifelong artist. He draws for fun and for hire. Now, ladies and gentlemen, CR.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're well.
Yeah. How was that?
That was great. That was great.
Thank you. Okay.
So this is the first episode?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I've always wanted to talk to you, and I've always thought it'd be cool to do interviews with internet's personalities that I've admired.
Wonderful.
And, yeah, you seemed like and since I interacted with you kind of in your live.
Oh yeah. You're a regular in the streams.
Yeah, and I figured that
I do Hearthstone and Let's Draw streams. So.
Mm-hmm. I figured you were the most logical first choice because I can tell you're very down to earth and would be less intimidating to talk to than some other internet personalities. And
I don't know. Some people, it depends.
Well, I just have
you either have people who are up for everything, and then you have people who are sort of maybe a little bit introverted. It's not that they're snubbing you, but it's just they're kind of standoffish. At least that's what I find. But then there are people that I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty much willing to do try anything once.
Plus, I've interacted with you to an extent before, so yeah, I figured you were the logical and best choice for the first guy. So yeah, it's just cool. Plus, I really like you, so that's the other thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you'd make all those great Lego animations.
Oh, you checked those? You checked them out?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
you sent me a link a long time ago, and I've been kicking around there.
You remember?
I only have like 20 mainstead people that watch the stream, so I check them out, see what they're up to.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of.
You're the only one that's actually producing any. I mean, I don't want to insult anybody, but I think you're the only one that's actually producing stuff. I know that Joe's just there because he has that channel. I know him mainly from Twitter and Skype. I don't think Noob Master makes anything, but I'm not. I'll take that back. I got to look and see if their channel is actually producing anything. But yeah, I check you guys out.
Oh, and Tasuki is currently watching. Tasuki Condor, yeah. Hey, Tasuki.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I was gonna stray away from the actual chat because I don't know if I shared your image on Instagram that I'd be interviewing you, and a lot of them didn't know who you were. Sadly,
let me check that out. Oh, hold on. I gotta it's mute. I have all my YouTubes on mute.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So there's the we're live.
Yeah. Live interview. I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, you're not seeing your end? It's just me?
Oh, I'm focused on you right now, but I can edit it so it's like that. You were talking.
Okay, well that's
the thing about this.
Fine.
It responds to.
It makes me look like I'm hello, Condor.
Yeah.
It's neat. Okay. It makes me look like I'm talking to someone who's there we go. There's you.
Yeah, it's just that this thing responds to who's currently talking, and I had it focused on you because sometimes it'll cut to who is if there's like a sudden movement, and so I had it like.
Okay, well that's pretty neat. This is my first time on Google Hangout, so
yeah.
Yeah, I usually do Skype or. Well, actually, I did Discord one time, and that was a mess. It wasn't a mess, but there's some sort of weird thing where if you all talk at once on Discord, it gets muffled and like distorted. It was weird. That was with Pan, and so we ended up going back to Skype. But anyway.
Oh yeah, with Pan.
Yeah,
it's neat. That must have been. I don't mean to diss on. I like Pan. Pan Pizza. Rebel Taxi. Check him out. Check out Rebel Taxi, guys, if you're into the whole review thing. He's pretty cool, especially talking about obscure cartoons and all that. But by the way, this isn't on the question list, but were you at all weirded out by, because like Pan seems to have like a reputation of being very weird.
I couldn't tell if he was actually doing it as a bit or if he was. I'm almost certain it was a bit, but no, I wasn't too weirded out. I wasn't too. I mean, you've been on the internet long enough. You meet a lot of spirited individuals, and who are also individuals who are within their own sphere of like interests and expertise. This one time I was.
Well, you seemed. I remember this.
Well, no, I'm just relating this to me because I don't want to talk about anyone else. But I was in college. I was listening to the Angry Video Game Nerd. I was like listening to on a video, and I just turned. And then they.
Have you ever met him?
Classmates.
Have you ever met him?
No, I have not. I have not. But some classmates were saying, "Who was I listening to?" And I just turned and I said, "Oh, I'm listening to the Angry Video Game Nerd." And they said, "Well, who's that?" I don't know. And I was like, "Oh, well, this guy who still gets about, 1 billion views. People really don't. Some people really don't know who he is still." So from that, I was like, "Okay, well, we formed our own little communities online. We put down our barriers little by little, and then sometimes we run into other people who might kind of be weirded out by what we think is just everyday occurrence to us." Like I'm speaking gibberish whenever I talk to anybody about animation or
Me too.
Yeah, just animation or video games or even YouTube. YouTube's the biggest barrier. My grandmother still doesn't know exactly what we are doing in here. She says, "Oh, are you gonna work for a company after you?" No, it's not that kind of interview, Grandma. I'm like, oh,
I'm an internet sensation, grandmother. That's why they want to talk to me. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's she doesn't quite understand what the purpose of this interview is. And I said, well, it's like anyone would interview someone for a magazine. But she thought it was a job interview at first, and I kind of had to explain things to her a little bit. She's adorable.
No,
although she met she didn't meet. She's got the new computer, and so she met what was that one girl, Emil31, or that stupid pop-up girl that keeps popping up.
I don't know.
Like it's like one of those stupid chat things that pops up, and it's a girl, and so like, oh, I really want to talk to you, and people know who I'm talking about. I mean, I've heard Matt from Two Best Friends use her name actually, as that's a popular pop-up, and so she comes in one day. She's like, "Oh, what have you been doing on the computer? There's this girl," and she popped up, and I said, "That's just the pop-up, Grandma. That's not. I didn't do anything to earn that. It was just popped up." And she gets a little flustered by technology a bit. Although I did get her, she is in love with these Bluetooth headphones I gave her.
Oh yeah, I heard about.
Yeah, so I hooked it up to the TV, and she can listen to her TV all the time now, and doesn't need to have the volume up so high. It's great.
Oh yeah, you were talking about. I heard you talking about that in during a live stream once.
Oh yeah. And people ask me how she's doing all the time, and I said she's doing fine.
I love how in your Pokemon Go video how you're telling her about her, and she said, "Oh, Chad."
Yeah. Again, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't. She's got her own interests. She just went to a card party just yesterday, so it's not like and then they're playing a weird game that I don't understand. So everyone's got their own interests. Everyone does their own thing.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the questions I got written down. Okay, so what got you into artwork?
Artwork. Well, I've always loved cartoons. I've always loved animation, even before I knew what that was. Even before I knew the word for it. So I basically I was actually in middle school, and at that point the world was starting to open up to me. I was kind of a latchkey kid, but then I started just going different places. I was starting to earn my own money, and I was starting to collect comic books and just I look and get, collecting my own VHSs and DVDs and stuff like that. And I realized that I wasn't going to lose interest in this anytime soon. I was thinking I was at the age where I was like, oh, well, time to put this behind me and, start focusing on adult activities. But and I'm an all or nothing kind of guy, especially back then. Not so much now, but I was really like locked in and focused on different things. Like, if I'm focusing on this, I need to focus on this. You understand what I mean? It was all or nothing kind of situation for me. So when the approaching horizon of adulthood was coming forward, I was like, well, I don't want to give any of this up. I really don't. So I decided I'm going to make it my career. I'm going to try and start drawing and start getting into animation and artwork and stuff like that.
Oh, guys, like
I later learned that as an adult, there are nuances and you can do different things. But back then, and that's what really triggered. I didn't want to give any of the stuff I enjoyed up. So I was like, okay, well, I'll make it my career like everyone else does. I don't think at the time I was obsessed with holding on to my childhood, but I was interested in it. And I was ready to make the decision the logical decision of making it something I can make a living off of.
Oh, yeah, like when you're a kid, like.
Plus that, and a girl really liked my drawing, and I kept doing it for attention.
Yeah. When you're a kid, when you tell your parents you want to be like an artist as a job, like that kind of thing, they tell you, oh, it's gonna be like unemployed then. The thing is, although nowadays we're realizing, there's a lot of job opportunities for like that. A lot of people, like, you can work like for like doing like graphics for like a news network and stuff like that. There's all sorts of opportunities, more than you would think.
I don't know. I think if you should pick it out early enough.
Well, now with the internet, God knows how much stuff you can do now.
Right. Like I said, I was in middle school when I decided, I kind of want to focus on artwork. And I think if you do it early enough, then the parents will also nurture that, and it becomes their investment. It's like I wasn't in 2 years into college, and I didn't take my business. I wasn't working in my business degree for the first 2 years and then quit and said, no, I'm going to be an artist. I knew people that did that, and their parents were miserable. But, and I don't even know if they succeeded or not, but yeah, I think if you do it early enough, then the parents will be supportive.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great. I used to draw like all the time. I still do occasionally, but now I've done more like making videos for, like Lego stop motions and all that. But I still draw from time to time.
Right.
Like it's great. It's very relaxing. It always relieves stress and everything like that. Like whenever I grew up with like social anxiety and stuff like that. So whenever I get really stressed out, I would always just write something out. Yeah. Artwork. Awesome. Okay. So you are most known for your series, Familiar Faces. The premise of the show is pretty unique. How did you up with the idea to do a show where you discuss obscure characters that, like Connie from Doug, Ralph from the Animaniacs, and Sam Hain, that demon ghost of Halloween from Ghostbusters, and of course one of my favorite episodes, The Geek. Like, how'd you come up with a premise for a show where you talk about characters like that?
Well, Familiar Faces actually started out in college. I was doing these little drawing series, and I called it Familiar Faces. I was basically drawing characters in the style of. I was obsessed with copying styles, so I was trying to mimic the Slayer style. The anime Slayers and the manga that they have beforehand. I was obsessed with copying that, and I don't know I don't know why I did it, but I started trying to depict random characters in this style. Like I did one was, I drew Lisa and Bird Girl from Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, and I posted them on DeviantArt because I also had just discovered DeviantArt. And I was posting them, and I said, well, okay, can you guess who each of these characters are?
Oh, yeah, you used to do that. You would say, like, who is this? And then
yeah. And people, and I called it Familiar Faces. And that got me to try and come up with the most obscure things I could think of. I mean, first it was Lisa Simpson. And like I said, Harvey Birdman. Then I literally thought, oh God, I got people. So I drew the frog girl from Street Frogs. Have you even heard of that series?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, Street Frogs. It was
sounds like that Street Sharks thing. It
was a Rankin Bass. It was part of the Rankin Bass animated feature called the comic strip, and they used to have it in the. I want to say it was either the early 90s or late 80s, but anyway, it was like the last hurrah for Rankin Bass. Before they stopped making animated series altogether. But people found out who that was, and so that propelled me to try and one-up myself each and every time. Plus, YouTube had just come out, and I've always loved watching old cable TV shows like anything Nickelodeon had on, or Cartoon Network. They showed the entire Cartoon Network the entire Hanna-Barbera library. So I was like introduced to Sinbad and the Herculoids and the weird Ben Grimm where it was a teenager and he put his two rings together.
Wait,
and he became a thing. There was a Hanna-Barbera TV show where the Thing wasn't the Thing. It was the Thing from the Fantastic Four. But they redid the whole series where it was just a guy and he put two magic rings together and he became the Thing.
Well, that kind of misses the point of the character.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he looks.
Ben Grimm was the monster and the rain.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be like you're supposed to represent how. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, that kind of thing. Kind of misses the point.
Yeah, Condor remembers it. Yeah. But that's the thing. So anyway, YouTube was just around. I was ingesting all this new information. And then I got to see, Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd, and they were doing all these videos. And they each both did a video on Ghostbusters, I think. At one point, Yes. I know that the Nerd did one, and he never mentioned Janine. And that really got my goat because Janine was kind of an important character. At least I think. She went through a lot of changes. She was just a fun, interesting character. Yeah, exactly. So I just decided to make a video one day explaining what the importance of this character was. There is a gentleman who started out much later than me, but he's already blown up much more in popularity than I have, and good for him. something Wolf. Something Wolf. He's in tight with the two best friends play. Saber Wolf. That's right. Saber Wolf.
Oh.
He originally got started because Wooly badmouthed Hunter x Hunter, and so he made a video, about the other side of that coin. He defending that point. Here's more about the series. Here's why it's actually more important. So that's why I got started, and that's why I think a lot of people get started, because they have a voice. They want to just chime in a little bit. YouTube. I mean, the internet's a good place to have a dialogue, but it's not. It's a stop and go dialogue where you make a video, you drop it there. Maybe it never gets picked up by anybody. Maybe it becomes a worldwide sensation and people start talking about it. Who knows? But I think people just want to kind of say something, and that's where Familiar Faces came in. I love obscure characters, and also characters that people weren't talking about, even though I remembered that. No, they were kind of important to certain episodes.
Janine is a great, unique character.
Janine was great because pardon me, I'm sorry, I interrupted, but she was great because Ghostbusters had gone across so many platforms, like comic books, the video games, the cartoons, movies. So that was the
drop in the cartoon.
Yeah. So she was like the perfect character to debut Familiar Faces, because Familiar Faces can be about anything. I'm not a comic book reviewer. I'm not a movie reviewer. I'm not just a cartoon reviewer. I can do anything as long as it's like obscure.
Yeah, you were one of the first, I think, of like the big cartoon reviewer thing, because it's like there's a whole bunch of them now.
Well, cartoons are always easy because there's the animation ghetto, or there was that animation ghetto for so many years, and then it kind of rised out of the 90s and the 80s. I will say there was it was starting to rise up in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But people were just doing so much interesting things with animation during my lifetime, because I grew up with the Warner Brothers Renaissance and Batman, the animated series.
Yeah.
Back then, it was just called Batman. You didn't have to call it the animated series. Dang nabbit.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I think is there a little echo? Do you have like the YouTube video muted or anything?
No, you're just not. The YouTube video isn't playing.
Oh, I wonder what that. Huh. Hello. Oh, okay, it's gone now.
Okay.
Was it the headphone?
I'll move the mic away from the speaker.
Oh, okay. Because you're not echoey. I can hear myself, which is.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's fine now. From my end. Oh God, I was gonna.
You were talking about Janine before I rudely interrupted you.
Oh no, yeah, like I liked her. Like, I think that was the first video of yours I watched. Like, it was actually before you did the baby doll video, before you revealed yourself. So I've been, I think, watching since I think it was Connie. I think that was the
that was a good episode. Mm-hmm. The Doug's who's the creator of Doug? I forget.
Oh, I don't know.
Jenkins. But anyway, his kids contacted me and he says, we really like the episode, but we're not going to show it to our parents because because you cursed in it. So that was like, I've always had moments like that. But that was flattering and discouraging. There was one time where I was
by the way,
I was with Channel Awesome. I was with Channel Awesome.
Yeah.
I was just starting out. No, I wasn't. This was way before I was even with Channel Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But they were having their first telethon or whatever, broadcast. And someone was going to make me the official blog of the week live. And then, I was later contacted and said, oh yeah, I couldn't get the video clip to run. So sorry.
Wow.
So it's like, oh, well, with like about thousands of people watching, that would have been nice exposure. But Oh well.
That is kind of sketchy.
No, not sketchy. Just
Well, not sketchy. Just
Sad.
I guess kind of wow. Not foresight. I guess didn't have any. I don't know. I'm just okay. Speaking of like the baby doll thing, when you do you think you were? I think you were probably one of the first people to do the whole face reveal thing before it became like this ridiculous.
Was it a thing?
Yeah, I don't think it was a thing back then. Like I think it was like what was that 2010?
Yeah. Well, I know that Pan still isn't on camera. Todd still hasn't revealed himself.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's
I don't. I think I just.
in the shadows thing. So
Right.
mm.
And now the big thing is animated. Well, not animated, but stand-in, like cutout characters.
Oh yeah,
For,
like
for your reviewers. I mean, the My Little Pony community is full of them.
oh yeah. Then you got like the Storytime guys with the like Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations, and they all tell stories about. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I've seen Jan Animations, but I'm thinking more like the reviewer side.
Oh, yeah.
There's Silver Quill. Silver
Favorite
Quill is the one I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like poses for his. It's almost like what was that one guy? He was with Channel Awesome. He just take pictures of himself having reactions and be like,
Lee, I believe. Lee.
yeah, Lee. That's him. Yeah. But yeah, it's that sort of thing.
A lot of the gaming community from Channel Awesome, like the first guys, they're kind of just gone now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Except for Angry Joe, he's still there.
Yeah. He was always a big guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why did you feel like what made you feel the need to reveal yourself I
just did it. I did it because I figured out how to do it with a busted old camera I had. That was literally. Yeah. You can look at that footage, and it's just literally an old VHS camera that I figured out how to take the inputs. It had inputs to it, and I ran that via a USB cable, several USB cables, two extensions. And I just ran it to the computer, and it captured my footage.
Oh, it's cool! It's amazing how just an old camera can make something look really old, but it's good. Though.
Yeah, I think other people use this program that I use. It's called oh God, where is it?
Waddle.
Let me look it up. Video editing folder. I don't use it much now, except to rip VHSs. Pinnacle Studio 12. That's it. I know that the nerd uses that because he said so on a behind the scenes thing, where he puts a DVD or he puts a VHS and they actually watch the movie, because you got to go through the whole movie. I don't do that now. Unless it is a VHS, I find, because ripping a DVD is so much easier.
Yeah,
it's like 30 minutes and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the reason why I did it is because I had a guest on, and I figured, okay, well this would be a good opportunity. That's all I do. It's just kind of, well, I'll try this time. Why not? That
was a good video. I mean, from your when you I love how you revealed yourself. Like I knew that there was something suspicious about that. What was it, a plant or something? I can't.
Well, yeah, I had to hang a lantern on it. I had to figure out how to, if not just justify the fact that I had a video camera now, and the fact that it was a shitty camera. And the fact that it was sitting in a bowl of fruit was just, it's this shitty old camera, and it's in the middle of a bowl of fruit, and it's great.
That's great.
I got a laugh out of it. I mean, I probably wouldn't have come up with it unless I needed to. But that's how they say some things happen.
That is
Necessity, mother invention.
that was pretty funny. I like that. I just like the bit how you led up to it. That was like you wrote you wrote the whole thing, obviously, right? Like
Yeah, I wrote that whole script.
like I love how you had Doug. You had him talk about, okay, so there's this guy. No one knows what he looks like. So you built it up, and then like.
Well, actually, that whole thing did come from a forum post.
Mhm.
Someone wrote. Someone actually wrote. Is CR a better nostalgia critic than Nostalgia Critic?
Yeah.
And I just kind of was like, oh, okay, I'll use that and I'll run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just kind of the premise for the video, because I think that was a popular post for a while, but not too much. Right.
Like when you were on there, you were like my favorite guy on there. One of my favorite guys. Like I would watch all the time. So.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I still do. I was watching some of your stuff today. That was really Anyway, what made you decide on the whole leather jacket with the pins thing?
Again, that's just something I had. I had a leather jacket
In Arizona, by the way, a leather jacket.
By the way, this is Arizona. I can't film. I did some voiceover this morning for a video, and I have all my stuff. Ever since I moved in with Grandma about 6 months ago, just kind of watch things. I've set the studio out in the garage, and it was great during the winter because it was nice and cold out and cool, and I could get things done. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I do some voiceover for about 10 minutes, and I'm dripping with sweat. So that's how it's like. It was like 110 today, and that's normal.
Like I said.
So, but anyway, the leather jacket, I had that. That was a gift from my other grandmother. And I was thinking, like, okay, well, everyone had a gimmick. Everyone was dressing up as different things. They had hats and glasses and things like that. And I said, well, what's the thing I can do? And I like the jacket. I like the look of the jacket. And I think, oh, pins. Okay, well, I'll just. Pins are cheap, by the way. Pins are not cheap, but that's what I thought at the time.
Is that real actually, leather, by the way?
Yeah, it is. It's real New Mexican leather.
Whoa, and you put pins on it. That's kind of that's.
Well, yes,
that's what,
it's fine. I mean,
no, I'm not.
I've been there. I know exactly where I can go to get another one of those for a really affordable price. Mm-hmm. Because my other grandmother, Grandma Rocco, lives there, and so she sent me that. And when the pins, I was like, okay, I'll start collecting pins because they are relatively cheap. I mean, $2 a pin, that's fine. I can swing that for every once in a while. That's the only reason I will go into like a Hot Topic or a Spencer's and like drop $6 on a couple new pins every once in a while because they got a good rotation. But anyway, that's just what I came up with because that's what I had.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Like, it's cool to have a look. Like that's not just Channel Awesome. Everybody's got a look. Like most internet personalities have that. It wasn't started by them. It was everyone does it. It's cool though. It's unique. It's because it's a leather jacket with like pins. That's like, oh.
Yeah, and if I lived anywhere else, it would actually be useful. I could actually do it, but I live in freaking Arizona, so I'm boiling most of the time.
I mean, like Doug has got the AC/DC look, like you pointed that out in the video, and then you got the nerd who is just typical nerd outfit, and you got your leather jacket with pins. You don't see that. That's kind of cool.
Well, I'm proud of it, but again, it's because it's very impractical. Especially even if I weren't, even if it weren't Arizona, under the land, you're sitting there, you're under the lights. It gets hot. It does. Well,
yeah, it's where I live. It's pretty hot too. I went on a walk today, and it was because it was a nice, cool 83 degrees.
Well, that would actually be great for us here. Well, I'd love an 83 day. We're in the middle of the monsoon season right now, so it'll start getting cooler.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, everyone. Hello.
Oh my. Okay. Please stay tuned, everybody.
What?
We'll be back after these technical difficulties.
My uncle's asking me how to cook a roast. I don't know.
What? That's kind of random.
It's that time of the night. For those who watch my streams, it's always a nightly ritual. I start a stream, that phone rings, and it'll ring about 3 times because that's when all of Grandma's children start to check in on her.
Oh,
They don't call her on her cell phone, but that doesn't matter because she couldn't hear her cell phone anyway. So that's just.
I remember you were checking on like the oven because your grandmother had like her headphones on or something.
Yeah. And she was making a peach cobbler and she couldn't hear it. So.
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, I've started recently. I moved in with Grandma after she had an episode in the hospital, and I'm just kind of kicking around here. I do like to preference that I'm not just some shut-in who lives with Grandma, but it does help. It does help her, and it kind of helps me with the. I have a little extra money now from things, but yeah,
it's cool. You take care of your family. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of been a running theme. I mean, that's one thing. I don't have an actual regular work schedule, but I kind of think of it as more or less of a game because I always work off my phone. I always work off my tablet.
Do you have like another job, or is it just? I'm not trying to be a.
Yeah, I do a little bit of graphic design on the side. I'm not gonna. I like to keep this separate, but
we don't have to.
But yeah, I mean,
if you don't want to.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's also nice that we live in an age where I can go around on my cell phone. You know, like if I want to, I can take pictures of anything that I want. But I can also. I write all my scripts on there with the docs.
Mm-hmm.
I can get some sketching done. I usually use Saya or Illustrator for my artwork. But yeah, that's just kind of where I am right now.
That's cool. It's good. Okay. Question 4. This is kind of an easy one, I think. Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, or like Disney Channel, or any of the Disney channels, or any of like which is your like.
Someone asked me this. So was it you who asked me this?
I don't think so.
On the stream. Well, because I know I got into it with not I didn't get into it. Someone said I had to choose.
Or you could list it like how, like which is
in order of preference. That would actually be good. I think I would have to say Cartoon Network had more of an influence on me. Like I said, I was alive during their beginning. I was also there for like the beginning of Nickelodeon. Like I actually saw like episodes of You Can't Do That on TV, when they were fresh.
I never saw those. I've seen like I didn't watch Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network till I was like 10 in 2004, but like it's amazing all the 90s Nickelodeon, they had like they were like a lot of it is amazing how they got stuff they're like ahead of their time.
Disney, I would have to say,
and I'm not just like I said, I didn't watch. I was like a toddler for a majority of the 90s, so I'm not speaking from like a nostalgia goggles standpoint. I've seen them past since then, and I actually think they're really they were really ahead of their time with Nickelodeon, which is kind of weird because now majority of their stuff is kind of, yeah.
No, I would have to say Nickelodeon's doing some good things.
Like Loud House. I like that show a lot.
Yeah, Loud House is good. They had a good run with their new TMT. Well, their old TMT. They're starting a new one because they bought Viacom bought Turtles. So they're gonna, as soon as one season ends, one series ends, they're gonna start up a new one.
Oh yeah,
but they had a good run with that first one.
Oh, that was great. Like the final season, they got Mark Hamill was like this devil character, right?
I think so. Yeah,
that's pretty epic.
The order. I would have to say Cartoon Network because they didn't even have. I don't know. I'm not going to say Nickelodeon had an advantage, but it did start out with some more original stuff. Cartoon Network just threw whatever it had on TV. Like they needed anything they could get their hands on, and it was a huge library when they acquired like the MGM library.
They have an award show, which is a big award show, which is pretty impressive. Nickelodeon, I mean.
Cartoon Network, or is this Nickelodeon?
Oh, Nickelodeon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Nickelodeon has the award show.
That's pretty. Yeah, I always.
Yeah, I would have to say.
I like Cartoon Network too. I think I prefer.
Yeah, I think that I would have to say that Nickelodeon and then Disney Channel. Disney Channel last because I don't really. I mean, I like the Disney Channel. They usually show Disney movies.
Disney XD, despite the ridiculous name, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. Sometimes they're hit and miss with things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gravity Falls is really, really good, but then you also have like Fish Hooks, which no offense to Fish Hook fans, but I don't think it holds a candle to other shows. Like even Kim Possible, I enjoyed.
Oh God, now that show was like that was my generation that was targeted at. That was a great show. And
then honorable mention to Fox Family or ABC Family or whatever the Family Channel, whatever that was, whoever owned that channel at the time, Channel 39 here in Arizona. They had like all sorts of Fox stuff. They had some original programming, like Big Wolf on Campus. I know Obscure Slupa likes that one. They just they just kind of honorable mention to them. They just had some. They tried.
Okay.
I especially like their 13 Days of Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It's just, man, have Disney sitcoms always sort of been brainless?
Bad? Are you looking for the word bad?
I said brainless. But yeah, because
I don't know.
Like
I think like really. I haven't even watched a lot of them, but they're very formulaic, aren't they?
Oh well, God, because I would think like Sister that was ABC, right?
Yeah, that was ABC, and then I think they moved on to the Disney Channel.
My uncle once said it's obvious humor, and they don't care. They're just gonna replace it with the same exact crap, only with a different name, because they don't. Yeah.
The one show that I liked, and I was surprised by it, was what was it? iCarly. I caught a few episodes of that, and I was like, okay, because it was actually taking the piss out of the whole sitcom format after a while. It was it's in on the joke. It is in on the joke, and that is the joke itself. But then I think that's what started the whole kids sitcom thing. That, or what was it? Josh and
Nickelodeon did pretty good, I think.
Yeah, they did. Drake and Josh. That's it. Drake and Josh.
The live action sitcoms. Those were all the same guy, by the way.
Yeah. I know some big guy.
Dan Schneider. He did. He was a producer on the Amanda Show.
Yeah. Did he do all that? Was he the producer for all that? I know if he's the same guy I think he is, then he was like the one adult actor on all that. The kind of big guy with the jowls, and he kind of, you know.
I don't really know. That was a little before my time, but it shows like Zoe 101, which was kind of like the closest we had to like a drama on Nickelodeon, but it wasn't. It was the closest thing though. Right. And then he did, like you said, Drake and Josh, which is his most famous show. God, what other one?
Well, I think iCarly actually topped that, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, I actually did. I honestly think that was a better show than Drake and Josh, but that's an unpopular opinion. But I thought it was pretty. Yeah, I agree.
Like I remember there was one episode where they were trying to find. They basically went to the proxy of Disneyland, and they were trying to find the frozen head of Disney.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, this is
a frozen head, like.
Also, you had the doorman who was like obnoxious and like rude and gross and just
yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is taking all the conventions of a sitcom, and playing with them. Unlike Disney Channel, which will give you like, oh no, she's a nanny for two like rich kids, and there's this butler, and he doesn't like when things happen.
Did you ever watch? You're a few years older than me, as I've established, because I have this thing about age, stating my age and other people's. I don't know why I do that. I apologize if you've noticed how weird that is. But shows like That's So Raven. I haven't seen that since I was a kid, but I thought it was pretty good.
I had never watched that much. I never watched, and that was on Disney. So that, again, I hear that was a good one, but I mean, I didn't watch that one or something. Kyle in the House, Chris in the House, or whatever.
Or Corey in the House. That was the
Corey in the House. Okay,
which is a meme now because it's like there was this girl. I'm not sure if she was self-aware or not. She was complaining about a troll that called like Corey in the House an anime. And now that's a whole Butch.
Yeah, that's a whole thing now.
Yeah, like Butch Hartman even referenced that on his YouTube channel. Like he was drawing anime in his style, and then number one was Corey in the House.
So that became a meme.
Yeah, it was a silly show. I actually remember it. It was just, I think it was actually more silly than.
It was funny how the younger siblings would grow up and have their own shows like that. That was the little brother on. The little brother on That's So Raven, right?
Yes, and she even.
Okay, so then he grew up and then got his own show, and then iCarly was like the little kid. Was the younger sister on Drake and Josh.
Oh, and she was hilarious because she was. She was the annoying sister, but then they just like throughout the series they just like, you know,
they turned it up. There was a point
where she had like an evil lair or something. Remember, did you know about that? Like there was an episode where she's got like this whole like, I don't know how they did that. They just went like full cartoon villain with her. They had like she pulled down like a picture frame in her bedroom, and then there was like this huge like master computer that had like cameras all over the house, and there was like a button that she would press that would just shock Josh randomly.
I only remember one episode that I saw on there where they were building a tree house and they didn't make a door for anybody. And they kind of built the treehouse around them.
I remember that. Like Drake, he like it was his fault because he drew like a door on there to actually like, you know, so they would know where to like cut a door open there.
Right.
But then Josh and Drake are both stuck up there, and then Josh tries to get out, and he realizes it's just a drawing of a door for where a door would be, and then he says, "Drake, what's this? Oh, that's a marker for when I actually when I actually put the door in. And then Drake, it doesn't. Okay, why didn't you put the door in before we? And then I don't remember exactly what happens, but you know what?
I don't even know how they would build it around them first.
Fine, I'll put a door in now. Fine, and then he tries to go through the drawing. And he's like, "You're an idiot," and then they start fighting. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a little bit pedestrian, but not pedestrian, but that obvious humor you're talking about. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Nick, to answer your question, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, and then Family Channel. Honorable mention.
All right, cool. Sorry, I'm like the king of going off tangent.
Oh yeah, I'm with you right there.
Plus, I apologize. You were apologizing for talking over me, and I'm usually the one apologizing for that. So that was interesting to hear.
Well, no, I've done that. I mean, I get started and I just go for it. But anyway,
all right, okay. Where do you find all the obscure characters and shows and other media that you discuss on Familiar Faces? Like, where do you find all that? Or is it?
Well, I mean, it's either something it's something I'm interested in, or I mean, you like a show enough that it'll present itself to you. Like, like, why is Ralph dumber in Animaniacs than he was in Tiny Toons? Why the shift between knocking Plucky around and then being the one that is knocked around? I was like, okay, well, that's, if you watch something enough, then it's like, okay, well, I'll pick up that character and I'll make a video about him. Sometimes it's presented to me, like either people will say, oh, you should check out this, or this.
Death's Head.
Huh?
Death's Head.
Oh yes, Death's Head. That's actually an interesting story. I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I gotta track down all the issues for that.
Yeah.
Death Head, a villain who started out as he started out as a Doctor Who villain.
No, he was he
started out as a Transformer villain, but was brought into the Marvel universe via Doctor Who.
Yeah, by the Seventh Doctor. Yeah.
Weird.
And
yeah, I'm gonna have to look that. I'm gonna have to do that extensively. But again, yeah, that was a suggestion that you brought to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm just looking through stuff and I'll find something that's interesting, and I'll follow the rabbit hole and see how far it goes.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about Death's Head is he's never had any representation in like cartoons or anything.
Everyone has a character like that. Everyone has that one. Mm-hmm. Even if a character appears once, it still made an impression on somebody. That's sort of the problem with the format. Was like that made a huge impression on Lewis, and he did a whole thing because it was like, oh, this is weird. Why is this a thing? Or I really like that character. Why didn't this go further? Everyone has that one character, and that's sort of the thing. That's the double-edged sword with Familiar Faces, because I don't do a whole video on the new Avengers movie. I don't do the new thing on the new whatever new series come out. I mean, sometimes I do. I'm starting to do that with the impressions videos, but I mean, it's like I don't do a top 10 Power Rangers fight sequences. The things that make about 10 million views, whether the list sucks or not.
People really get mad about top. There are people that like really hate top 10 video. I don't.
It depends. I like them if there's effort put into them. I mean, there's like not anything on Mojo.com or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Where it's like 15 seconds worth of dialogue for each entry, but everyone has that. So if I make a video about that, people are like, "Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about," and they get super excited because it's a connection between. It's a small connection. It's a very narrow one.
Yeah, like
and I like that feel. I like that feeling where people either know exactly what I'm talking about or people have no idea what I'm talking about, and I've explained something new to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's got that one character, and that's what that's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Also, those one characters that are off the radar, those are the ones that the writers screw around with the most, because it's going back to Janine and Ghostbusters. Back when they were censoring the show, when they were censoring the show, they not even censoring the show. Back when they were actually just writing good scripts,
What was the DQ thing? I'm sorry, what was it?
Q5. Basically, Phalos has done a wonderful job on this.
That is like the incompetence. Like, I can't even fathom how you can.
Well, the way it's described is Ghostbusters was like the #1 cartoon on TV, and then they brought, I guess, having the best isn't good enough, so they wanted to be even better. So they brought in this firm which had no expertise in anything, and they wrecked the series. They wrecked the show. But here's the thing: when if it's not the main character, like no one really messes with SpongeBob. I mean, SpongeBob will go through different things, but if you really want to tell an interesting story, you pick a side character that you can do anything to, and people won't care because you've risked change on an incidental character. That's one thing that's makes these little spotted characters so interesting, because the writers will actually focus their creativity on them to the cases. Because if you do it with the main character, then the main character kind of has to go back to normal. That's the way it used to be, like in the 90s and 80s. I mean, now we've got Netflix shows where they do all sorts of interesting things, like main characters would actually die off, or favorite characters will die off, but that's the way it used to be. But even now that's sort of changing, but that's what it used to be. Like, your main characters were always steadfast and normal. They didn't really, if they changed a lot, then they had to change right back to normal by the end of the episode.
Oh yeah,
let's take The Simpsons, for example. Apu has been married. He's had marriage troubles. He's had half a dozen kids. The kids are getting older, but Maggie is the same age. That is literally the antithesis of what I'm talking about. The side characters you push all the change on, and the main characters you actually just don't change them at all.
That's the same thing with Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman's kids. They have kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Franklin has been 7 for 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a great.
But yeah, again, I'm just saying that's what makes side characters so interesting, because if you screw with them, I mean, the audience gets to say, "Ooh, that's really interesting," but don't touch my sacred cow. Don't mess with SpongeBob. Don't give him I don't know. I don't even know what you could do with SpongeBob at this point. He's kind of just SpongeBob.
Yeah, they've done some sponge jokes. Recently there was one about how he this thing, that green thing you put on sponges.
Yeah, but again, that went away at the end of the episode.
They had a multiple personality kind of thing, but
that went away at the end. By the way, I'm sick of those special. It's a special. No, it's an episode. You're just calling it a special.
And that DVD one where they said they were gonna big changes and reveal stuff, and they didn't.
No, of course not. Why would they?
Remember that?
Yeah, no. I don't need to remember it, because they ran stuff like that all the time. It's the round pants special. What? No, it's one 15-minute segment.
At least when Gary was when he lost Gary, that was the first one. That was like the first.
Yeah, that was
special.
like the first one, but that was like,
that was at least like 30 minutes long.
and that was cute. That was a story where Gary left and then came back.
Yeah, it was like a full thing. It was like usually it's like 2 episodes in one, like typical. But that one was just a full 30 minutes. I remember. So that was an actual special. But these ones are just, yeah, like you said, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, but like I said, that's what makes side characters so interesting, is because you can mess with them and then not. I mean, how many sidekicks has Batman had?
5.
Yeah, I mean, like some of them are dead,
Well,
some of them are not. Some of them will come back to life.
Yeah, one of them.
Batman is the constant. Batman is the constant, but you got characters like Red Hood. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's why I go after. I just find those obscure characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's had a ton of sidekicks. Like, I think there's like, it's not even Robins and Batgirls. There's like Batwing, which is like this black Iron Man with like bat wings.
Oh yeah. I recently saw that I saw a bit of that in a movie, one of the DC movies, the Bat Blood and Blood Family Blood or Blood Ties or something. Batman something blood.
Then there's like. It was Bad Blood, like the Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, okay, was it?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was Bad Blood.
Okay. Like, I know that they had Batgirl, Dick Grayson, Robin, and then
there's this other one,
Iron Batwing, which was an Iron Man kind of Batman.
Yeah, like there's this other one, like he's new. He's like this. He was part of the Robin. He was like the leader of that Robins gang that lasted for like 5 months. And but now he's like, I don't know what his hero name is. He's got like, he looks like Batman only without the cape, and he's got like a yellow cowl. It's like, I don't even think he has a name.
Huh.
It's so weird. Like Duke or something.
Huh. Weird.
Speaking of comics, I got this because of you.
Oh, the Showcase Jonah Hex. Good. Yeah. Over 500. What? I didn't see it.
Pages of comics. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like his origins and all the best stuff out of him.
I think so.
Good.
Volume 2. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like there's this. God, I can't remember this funny. There was this bit, I think, like. Where like this guy's about to be hung or something, and he's like, well, like he just leaves, like he doesn't even like, he just like he doesn't kill him, like he pays him off not to kill him or something, and then but then the mob shows up, and he's like, well, I gotta get going, and then they.
Okay. There was a bunch of interesting stuff with Jonah Hex. Yeah. Like I said, he went to the future and won a couple issues. But they relaunched his series, and then where he was sent to the future.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that was in the 80s. That was weird. Was it good? I can't remember what you said about it. The 80s. The Hex.
The 80s Jonah Hex. I don't know. It seemed like an interesting premise, but
they sort of did it in Batman: Brave and the Bold. That episode.
Yeah, they definitely did it in Batman: Brave and the Bold, where he was working for it was not Darkseid, and it's not.
Who's
that other guy? Mongo.
Mongol. It's like like a Mongol. He's a.
Oh, Mongol. Yeah. That's right.
Yellow. I just call him Yellow Darkseid. He's like Darkseid, only he's not as powerful.
I'll always like that one panel where he just shoots He shoots Superman with the kryptonite bullet, and he just says "Adios, spaceman."
And he shoots, and his friend like Tomahawk or something shoots Batman, and this is when they're like evil.
Kind of hits him in the back of the head.
This, by the way,
But no, because that's the thing everyone's always saying. Why don't people just shoot Batman or Superman with the kryptonite bullet? And they've done that before. They've done it lots of times, but
yeah, but a lot of
it's
people
always like in the gut.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, like, there's been times where they've done that, and then people have like helped them get it out. Like Batman.
Batman's always there to help them get it out. Public Enemy is actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Based on the comics, comic book run.
By the way, the whole Jeff Loeb of Batman and Superman series. That is great.
I always like the artwork in that, and they did a good job adapting that.
Yeah. The artist is Ed McGuinness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's great. Oh, you've answered this in the live streams, but have you seen the Jonathan Sage, I think? Or something? I don't know how to pronounce his name. In Legends of Tomorrow. They have... it's, well, it's kind of cool because in the first, like, okay, so he has a relationship with Rip Hunter in this TV show. Rip Hunter's like the head time traveler guy in the show. And so Rip Hunter takes the legends with him to the Old West. And Jonah is there. And like, okay, so like the Black Canary or whatever starts a fight in a bar. And then Jonah shoots a bullet and he's like, it's like a Clint Eastwood movie. He's just standing there in the dark. And then he fires a gun, and everybody says, "That's enough." And then everybody goes back to their seats.
Because that's awesome. I remember the first Batman that he showed up, and they just wanted to do a Jonah Hex episode out of apropos of nothing. But there's like, no, we just got to have Jonah Hex on the TV show. And I remember when I remember my little kiddie brain.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, why is Two-Face there? Why is Two-Face there? Because this was at the time where they were starting to do like the redesigns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well that's clearly Two-Face. That must be Two-Face. That's clearly him, but it wasn't. I was just a dumb kid.
Yeah, and later in that episode of Legends, he immediately can tell that they're time travelers because Rip Hunter isn't with them, and he can tell. Look at you. Seriously, look how pale you are. Because he immediately figures out that they're time travelers.
Well, no, it's funny because in Legends of Tomorrow, I bet that happened. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Legends of Tomorrow, but in the Justice League cartoon, mm-hmm. he also knows that he says, "Okay, I bet you guys are time travelers."
Yeah,
and they're all like, "How did you know?" And he says, "Well, I've led an interesting life," and that's all he says. But yeah, in the comics, he has been sent to the future.
I know. I always like that about him, like how, and like when he first arrives to like the future, right? He's like, he's just like a total Clint Eastwood type, like, huh?
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Like it's nothing to him. I always love how nonchalant he is about it. Like, oh, this gun shoots like a beam of light. Okay. Like they just hand him a laser gun, and you have in Legends, and you have no idea if he's ever used one before. And he's like, "Well, look at that." And he starts using it.
Just tell you, I mean, he's not phased like things.
Yeah, I just always loved. That's what I really like about him.
I don't know if they did it or not. There was one run where he basically beat. It was like him versus some Cthulhu, Lovecraftian mythos kind of monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I never read the run. I never got my hands on it. That's why I only mentioned it in the video, but there was that. So I guess he's just done a lot of stuff, and things don't faze him.
Yeah. And although the one thing that disappointed me about those episodes of Legends is that he didn't, like in the comics, you see him take on like entire gangs by himself.
Oh yeah.
In the TV, he doesn't really do that in the Legends episodes.
No, because then you have no reason to have the Legends work with him.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I just, yeah.
Guest
Oh.
star outshow. You don't have a guest star outshow your your
Well, he
main.
kind of did that with Brave and the Bold, though.
Yeah. Well, no, not in Brave and the Bold. He was still able to. Batman was on his level, kinda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the show is kind of cheesy, but Legends. I mean, Legends is it's kind of cheesy, and some of the acting. It's CW, so some of the acting is a bit like there's this Captain Cold guy who talks like this. Like I'm Captain Cold. Like it gets kind of distracting, but if you're really into Jonah Hex, maybe you check out. He's only been in 2 episodes, so.
Okay, well, I'll check it out. I know people are. I know people there. I know that they're pushing Captain Cole a lot, even with Injustice 2 and the new series. I guess he's just like a fan favorite now.
Yeah, he's cool. I have him in some of my Lego videos. Oh, speaking of, here he is. Look at that. They have a Lego of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the classic Captain Cold with the
where he looks like the Mole Man with the parka on.
Yeah. Did you do you like I've always they've got a Lego store over by this mall out somewhere.
Oh, I had the camera focused on you when I showed that. Ta-da! Look at that, guys.
Right on. Do you like going there? Do you get your collection online, or do you?
Well, mostly online, because then I get like customs, like Lobo here.
Oh, that was a custom job?
Yeah.
You mean that wasn't like factory made? Someone actually made that custom made?
Yeah, I bought this. It was a custom. It's not official.
Oh wow! How do people even do that?
One coming out now. I can actually show it with the screen share, but that would be exhausting. So I'm going to.
Okay. Well, don't. But that's cool. So
yeah.
How do we? Is it like painted on or?
I think so. It's like, yeah.
That is some real nice quality.
Printed. Actually, the face is printed.
Okay, so I was going to say they find a way to do all sorts of weird things.
Mm-hmm. There's an official Lobo coming out, and he's even got the space cycle and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm making a Lobo Lego film next year. It's going to be
awesome. That's great. Yeah. I was reviewing. I was going to review.
Oh, there's a Jonah Hex one too, based off of the CW version.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And go on. You can. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I was just thinking out loud. I'll save that for later. It's a cheap damage video.
Oh, you doing it? Oh,
about one of the Lego dungeon sets.
Oh, cool! I remember those. Those are like
yeah.
You know, Minecraft is like they picked a perfect choice. Like there's Lego Minecraft sets now. That's like, well, if they're gonna have like a toy line, I think that's a perfect company to team up with.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Minecraft and okay, yeah, that's okay. If you want Minecraft,
if you're into Minecraft, I mean.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
I'm not into Minecraft. I'm just saying that's a good. I just think that's a good move if they're for their fans to pick the greatest build-a-block toy line of all time. I think that's perfect. Yeah.
Did you see that Robot Chicken sketch where they were talking about the Mega Bloks?
Oh God, yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I did.
The one where it's like DayZ or like a World War Z, but it's like Legos.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, they're what are the off brands? I know there's Mega Bloks and Plinko or Black.
Yeah, there's other ones. I can't think of them, but
right.
The funny thing about Mega Bloks is though, they're really popular for like figure collectors now. Like they have the rights. Like they have the rights to like Ninja Turtles and SpongeBob, the Ninja Turtle sets you might be really into because there's figures of every version of the Ninja Turtles. There's ones based off of the Mirage comics, and you can get them like they're in black and white. And
Yeah,
then
I was going to say, don't they also have the Transformers account?
Oh yeah, and with like you can get the Technodrome, and then from the 80s cartoon, you get the Mirage version, like from the Mirage comics, and then you can get like the Nickelodeon one. It's real. And it's really cool. And then SpongeBob, like there was SpongeBob Legos a few years ago, and they were just kind of
Also, what's your opinion on the? I hate to interrupt you, but I just had this thought. What's your opinion on that Lego Dimensions?
Oh, I want to play it, but I think it's really cool because you got all these major franchises. And the actual actors, like we finally have Doc Brown, voiced by Christopher Lloyd, interacting with the Doctor, the actual Doctor, the current one, Peter Capaldi. Isn't that's like monumental, right? I mean, it's in Lego form, but that's epic.
Okay, your enthusiasm is selling me because I always thought of it as like, oh well, they're just. Like Warner Brothers is literally slapping everything they have together.
I think this storyline, like you can like the Dalek Emperor, and it's cool. Like
I've seen the Sonic lines. I've seen the Sonic lines where they all the different art voices will record different lines to interact with different people. Pardon me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess your enthusiasm is selling me. I always kind of looked at it as a kind of shilling, but I guess I would have to say I don't agree with the price hike that they put on there. No. I have some of those.
Well, the licensing.
I don't have the base game.
Yeah.
I don't have the game, but I do have those figures. I have the bunch of Simpsons. I have like Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson because they had those at the dollar store. I have Golem. I have a bunch of Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah.
So I may check that out.
It is cool. I mean, there's these. They even release they take advantage of the fact they have all these properties and actors.
Yeah, of course
they've released like shorts. Like there's this really hilarious one where like the Ecto one, like the Doctor, and then like the DeLorean, and they're all like no, you go this way. No. I insist you have the right of way. And although I think that the Ghostbusters, that's the stock audio, but the other guys is Christopher Lloyd and Peter Capaldi and everything. It's pretty funny. And then like Harley Quinn and the Joker show up. It's and then there's like it's amazing like how I like how they're taking advantage of all these properties they have. I think it's cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, they might as well.
Yeah. Because everyone loves Lego. I mean, for God's sakes, there's Marvel and DC Lego sets.
Marvel and DC have always kind of like met in weird. They've met in weird places. Like I remember I forget what card game it is. The Versus system, where they both Marvel and DC gave their rights to print out cards.
Mm-hmm.
It was a card game, and like I guess I got to do a video on that because people I guess people don't know about it. But and then you also had, I think there were a couple other properties, but they never. It's kind of like HeroClix, where you got DC HeroClix and Marvel HeroClix, but you also have like the Hellboy HeroClix set, and like Lord of the Rings HeroClix set, those things.
Oh yeah. Like there were comics, right? Well, like Marvel versus DC. Like remember that?
Yeah, I remember the crossover, the amalgam universe.
Yeah, did you like there was votes? Did you vote in that? Like for who would
No. That was before my time. That was before my time. I wasn't even into comics. I read a whole bunch. I borrowed some stuff from someone who had the collection, and I recently, like maybe 2 years ago, I read through the whole thing.
Justice League
Most of them.
Avengers is really good too. There's in 2004 there was like a Justice League meets the Avengers, and it is epic.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. I think I own that because I like the artwork. They fused someone like Scarlet Witch used her magic to fuse Robin and Angel into one character. Is that the one? Is that the crossover you're thinking about?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've read it. I have it, but it was. I really like how and like there's this cool bit where like Wally West, because he was the Flash at the time, and like the Speed Force works. There's no Speed Force in the Marvel universe, so they had to build like this contraption, and there was this whole so he could run fast there, and it was a whole thing. And then there's this epic scene, and I'm surprised Marvel agreed to it, where where the Avengers are and the Flash are on Apocalypse, and there's an image. The Dark Side has the Infinity Gauntlet, and they're all looking at him terrified. And Hawkeye says, "I'm surprised they would never agree if they ever cross over. I'd probably never say this. Like, my God, this guy looks worse than Thanos, if that's even possible."
No, that's self. I think they did that.
Yeah,
that sounds like something, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and in the Infinity Gauntlet, it's just one scene, but the Infinity Gauntlet, Desaad's telling him it's a very powerful thing, but it doesn't work for this universe, and so he just throws it, and they now leave, and by tells them to leave, he it's Darkseid, so he just Omega blasts them and sends them away.
Right.
He does, Darkseid's evil is a little less, subtle than Thanos. So I guess I could see why anyone would, because
Thanos is more emotional than Darkseid.
Darkseid's basically the devil because he rolls a planet called Apocalypse, and he powers himself by the misery of his of millions of slaves, and he's called Darkseid. I just thought, yeah. Oh
yeah, that was a great scene in the Superman the animated series.
Yeah,
where Superman just beats the crap out of him, and then the people
dies.
He almost dies, and
he kills Darkseid kills somebody like.
Oh yeah.
Right before he leaves.
Yeah.
And then Superman loses it, and he just starts smashing like a.
No. I'm talking about another time where he goes to Apocalypse, and he actually beats up Darkseid, but all his people, his slaves, basically, it's laying there. He's broken. He's barely alive, and all his slaves come to his aid, and it's such a weird kind of. It's a weird moment, but
I've always admired
it makes sense because they're so kind of brainwashed into believing that we got to help Darkseid.
The thing is about that, like Darkseid, like in general, the DC heroes, they don't kill people. That's this thing. They don't kill villains, but they'll make an exception for the God of Evil. I think. Typically, if they have to. I've always, like he's literally called that, God of Evil. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, so, God, what were we talking about before I went off?
I don't know. We were talking about Legos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice talking to you, man. This is really cool.
You're doing great. This is a great episode.
Thank you. I was really nervous because
you're doing fine. You're doing great. There's just
thanks, man.
And when in doubt, you just say, "Okay, we'll move on and ask the next question."
Yeah. All righty then. You're right. This was kind of before we went off tangent. There was a great segue. I was going to say. Well, you were talking about your opinions on like what they do in cartoons now and what they do then. what I was gonna say is that's a great segue for this question. Anything about modern animated media that you really like that old animated media generally didn't have, and is there something that modern animated media does that you don't like that they didn't do back in the olden
modern
days?
I don't know. I will say that the scheduling is horrible because you can't find. I mean, it's hard to find. Like back then, Saturday morning, you had your new cartoon shows, and if you got enough of those collected, then you can show that throughout the whole week. You know, syndication. You got enough episodes for that, you can run it. You know, like Disney Afternoon style.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, even then, I just mentioned Disney Afternoon. They've always played with this. They've always played with the schedule for how they're going to release episodes. Because now it really kind of bugs me that, like, a cartoon like Steven Universe or Adventure Time or a regular show, it's like, okay, this week we're having a new episode every night. It's like, well...
I have school. I can't do that. I can't watch it.
Can't you release a new episode every Saturday?
Yeah.
Like you used to? Like, or choose it like Friday. Like Friday was a big day because you come home and Nickelodeon had new episodes of like Rugrats and all that. And Snick. Remember Snick?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
And Ren and Stimpy. And it's like, okay, well, a new episode was like a special event. And it only lasted like, 1 week.
I remember Friday. That was more my generation. The Fridays. I think they did the same thing where it was like this big. It was live action. It was on Cartoon Network, and they would host like new episodes tonight. It was like a big thing. They used to do, and this is back when on Fridays they used to do Cartoon Network for 24 hours.
Right.
Now they just cut off at 8 every day of the week.
Yeah.
Adult Swim, which kind of annoys me.
Back then on Cartoon Network, I used to remember they used to like run all sorts of weird things like the Roman holidays, the Hanna-Barbera's after they made Jetsons and the Flintstones. They made the Roman holidays was one of their spin-offs, which was like just their it's like a family, but they're Romans, and that's the joke. Yeah. It's like Flintstones and
like I never know when Ninja Turtles is like when there's a new episode. There's a new like what
again it's worse with Nickelodeon because Nickelodeon just seems to do it whenever. You catch a weekend marathon because you've lost everything beforehand.
Like I remember
I will say scheduling. But even then, that's not really a problem because now we have Netflix and all that. And if people release a huge chunk of episodes, then, well, even then, because then you're caught and watching all the episodes leading up to that. They don't even release it on a sensible schedule is what I kind of miss. But like getting back to the conventions, I can't really say that I'm. I mean, I love hand-drawn. I love hand-drawn animation, and I'd love to see some classic TMS style animation on TV, like with Animaniacs and well, let's see, they had like Animaniacs, and they did like a bunch of works for like Disney, like for their Disney Afternoon. I love that style, but that's I like what they experiment with, like their 3D animation and different things like that. So I can't really say that, oh, I don't like... I think people are really starting to kind of blend the Flash animation style and make it really nice, like on Rick and Morty. They're doing really good stuff. I can tell that it's sort of that limited puppet animation, but they do good frame-by-frame animation once in a while. Recently, I was watching the new preview of the new DuckTales cartoon.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah, except for this one thing where they're in a submarine. It's that submarine clip, and I could sort of tell that they were doing tweening on Scrooge's expressions. They were doing some tween work on that, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought this doesn't look like the same animation I saw before with the Huey, Dewey, and Louie running down the hallways and Webby ambushes them or stuff like that. So I was like, oh, well, I guess they must have different teams. I sort of get kind of bugged with tween animation if it's not done well.
What is tween animation? I'm sorry.
Beg your pardon. Tween animation is, I said this last time on the Pan Pizza podcast, and people jumped on me for mansplaining tween animation to the guests that they had on there. But
it's okay. I have no idea what that is.
Well, tween animation is basically, remember Flash animation. Flash animation, you can have an object, and then you can just tell the computer, I want the object to be here, and then go here.
Oh. I think
and then I can move the object up and down, and it has a certain motion to it. And then I slap arms on the object, and I say, okay, repeat the animation where the arm goes this way, and then this way, and then this way. And just kind of, it's got like a bouncy jerk. It's both bouncy and jerky at the same time, if that makes any sense. There's no actually that makes perfect sense, because the arms are on a rigid pivot, but then you can take the whole body and kind of stretch it, and then squish it at the same time. So it looks like it's all squishy and squishy while it's moving, like rubber hose animation. But all the body parts are on a pivot, so it's got this mechanical thing at the same time. It just doesn't kind of look right. People have figured it out, like the Loud House.
Oh yeah,
that's tween animation, but that's done well, and they perfected that on Kick Buttowski, which was another show I liked. That did it very well.
You thought I was being sassy? Is that
no? First, well, I thought you were asking me to explain it to the audience.
Oh, I thought you thought I was being like, oh, you think I don't know what that means? I generally didn't know what it meant.
No. I thought you meant you wanted me to explain it for the sake of the audience.
No, I really didn't know what it was.
Oh, well, you work in a frame by frame anime. You move a Lego figure a little bit, and then now imagine if you can animate each part of the Lego separately. Like say, okay, arm, you're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And legs, you're going to do this. And then you program that all into a computer, and then it just plays out. Instead of having... that's kind of a bad example, but that's what I'm saying. You program the pieces individually, and unless they're all look like they're moving at once, it can kind of look weird.
Oh, okay.
And some people figure it out early on, and some people it's kind of like weird. Canada they've got a very wonderful animation industry, but sometimes you watch a show up there that comes from up there, and it's just like, you just.
Oh yeah, Canada is
like. Have you seen the Canadian Adventure Time?
Oh, is that? Oh God!
It's I'm even having
on Jordan.
I know I'm blanking on the name too, but it's so Adventure Time it hurts.
Like I hear
Freaktown.
Oh God! That is
Freaktown. That's the name of it.
Canada, man. They like Johnny Tests. Like, is that still on? By the way,
no, it's gone. It's dead. Good riddance.
How
They tried to do
years.
Now here's a sad thing: the series that Scott Fellows pitched after that, which was a horrible name. Why did he go with this? It's Super Noobs. He called it Super Noobs.
You see, this is the thing. Mainstream people, they don't know what those words mean.
Yeah, so hold on a second.
A noob isn't a good thing, right? That's like someone who's really bad at a video, like new and bad.
That's a noob. Well, noob means a new person, a newbie. Yeah. And when
my gamer friends are gonna yell at me. For
Yeah,
that.
well, not even Game of Thrones. You could just say that for someone who is new to something. You call them a noobs, and this was super noobs. It is about 4 kids, and they get like superpower battle armor.
Yeah, like in 10 years, like 10 to 20 years, people are like, what the heck is that? What kind of name is that? Like, no one's gonna know what a noob is probably in like 20 years. Like,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
anyway,
channel Disney XD.
the problem is that the show was. I mean, it still had kind of weird, horrible animation, but it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't nearly as bad as Johnny Test.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Like,
But yeah. Anyway, then you got. I don't know. It's just weird, but that's sort of one thing that bugs me. And I don't want to say we'll go back to traditional animation because that's tedious, and sometimes that wasn't even effective to begin with. Sometimes you had like weird, like that second season of Korra, which was just. I've seen screen caps
because it wasn't on. It was like on Nick.com that no one watches.
No. This is when it still aired, but they changed the studio, and it was kind of a rush job.
Yeah, you think?
But anyway,
like you think Nickelodeon would be like, because it's tied into Avatar, so it's like everybody that you think that'd be like a top priority that they would.
No, they were worried about different things. They were worried about the main character being a girl, which is I
really
I don't like it. I actually don't like Korra all that much because I think there's some weak spots in the writing. But I think that may have been from I'm not going to lay it all on the writers or the writer because there was only like one person left over from the original team. I'm not going to put it all on him because I think he may have been in the back of his head saying, well, they're going to cancel this. They're going to cancel this. They're going to cancel this.
Yeah, he had an ad.
I'm writing 1 season. I haven't even thought of the second season. Oh, we've got a second season. I'll start writing that. Okay, well, this is a third season. Okay, well, third season. What? They're putting it on the internet? Okay, well, whatever. So I think it may have been like a stop and go between.
Had some blame.
Yeah, it was apprehensiveness over everything, and that'll even just that little bit of apprehensiveness will kill a series.
Yeah,
because the original series, I have this big book of Nickelodeon cartoons, and they were saying like how they were so impressed by the original pitch, and they were like, yeah, just go write the whole thing, right from beginning to end, and we'll see where it goes. And every season they just brought it back and they did good stuff with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't say that style because when I say, oh, animation's bad now, it was bad then. It just depends on where you look. So yeah, I can't.
Most movie.
The industry itself is constantly changing. And I can't say that one thing is bad because they did the same proxy years ago.
I do miss 2D animated feature films though. That's yeah. It's gonna. Although they're good because but the thing is about the Disney. TV cartoons children's cartoons is now there's a lot more respect. I think.
Yeah,
like back in like 1986, where every TV show was based off of a toy line. Despite, I know that like Transformers is a classic; it was good, but like now, like like Adventure Time, like you have a show like there's like they'll have like Jake make a fart joke, but then they'll have like Ice King, he's got like Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah, that's. Adventure Time's even now I caught a few episodes of Adventure Times. I think they're just doing it because they've been on for so long, but they're trying some weird, interesting things.
Are they still making a movie?
I have no idea.
I heard about that like 2 years ago. I swear. It's weird.
They're making everything into a movie. They've got a Loud House movie on. They've got
Wait, what?
I think there's supposed to be a Loud House movie.
I'm for that. Wait, how would they make
on TV? On TV. I don't think they're putting it in the.
I know, but it's like an animated sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they?
how do you make a movie out of that?
Wait, are they actually making an Adventure Time movie for
Yeah,
theater?
I heard there was like going to be a big theatrical movie,
Oh, okay.
which is great because and they better actually. What I hate about this is that, like I don't watch My Little Pony, but
They need
it
to give
annoys
James
me
Baxter.
that the movie. I know they don't. Come on, just Tara Strong out in the credits. Come on, at least you could list them last. Whatever, just put them in the credit them somewhere in the trailer. The voice cast, you know what I mean? They don't do that. That horrible Ratchet and Clank movie I never saw. They.
Oh, God, I walked by a Ben in Walmart the other day, and it was like, oh, the $3 Ben, and Ratchet and Clank was sitting there next to
that movie came out last year.
Yeah, it did.
It was
no one liked it. I had that on Netflix. I started watching a little bit of it, and then because it was just like, oh, well, this is just like, I don't know. There's no investment. It was a video game cutscene. They didn't stage it like it was a movie, which is weird because I always played those games because I liked the stories.
Did the fans of the game like it? You know,
I wouldn't know. Naughty Dog has moved on to Uncharted. They don't do like Ratchet and Clank or those weird wacky cartoon characters anymore. I wish they did. I played those games in a second.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing Overwatch all the time.
Yeah. Video games are kind of going into a more
because Overwatch seems like the next step. It's the point in between Uncharted and Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. Where you got weird and wacky characters, and they're doing all this crazy stuff, but they're still kind of human.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I need to try out that game. I don't game that much. I need to do that. So yeah, I do like the 2D animation, and I just do okay. I think anything else to say about that question? Or do you think that's good?
No, I think we're good on that one.
All right. Number 7. Okay, let's see here. A lot of comedic reviewers, and is that okay? I say comedic reviewer because you do kind of okay on the internet, at least in the early days, put on this over-the-top persona, whereas you always seem to just kind of play yourself while doing reviews. What made you decide to go in that direction? Because Doug, he just he makes himself even louder, and then there's Angry Video Game Nerd is totally different than James Rolfe.
I think that comes from, first of all, when I first started this, I saw
CR is not different.
I didn't get started by watching this. I saw the format Nostalgia Critic put out, but my real inspiration was James Rolfe's Cinemassacre's Monster Movie Madness.
Oh yeah, I love those.
And those were just a voice. That was just a voiceover, and him talking, and it wasn't a character. It felt sincere. It felt like, okay, this isn't like the Angry Video Game Nerd, like doing over the top gags. This felt like super sincere.
Yeah, CR is literally just you in a jacket, and that's it.
Yeah, kind of, pretty much. I mean, sometimes I come up with bits, and I think they're kind of funny, but.
I love when
it's pretty much just me. It's pretty much just me and my observations, and I think that's also that's the kind of counter. The counter to that whole movement where it's like, oh no, I'm being forced to.
That whole thing.
I'm being forced against my will to, and that's kind of like born out of the MST3K, kind of born out of
look very angrily at the video game.
Why am I doing this? It's like, I think with the rise of Let's Players, because some of them are wacky over the top. They'll jump at the camera. They'll turn the camera on and go, But most of them are like really like they are what they are, with like the rise of the two best friends, super friends. Pardon me. The rise of the super friends and the Game Grumps. It's mainly just regular people shooting the shit. They will say, yeah, like, oh yeah, well, you can tell when they're putting on a bit, but you can also tell that bit is also them because it's real. They're just sitting in front of you and just doing it.
Oh, have you heard of Glove and Boots?
Yeah.
They're
the puppets, right?
Oh yeah, I love that because it's so original, you know.
Yeah,
it's puppets doing games. It's brilliant because there's this whole. I watch their Let's Plays all the time.
Glove and Boots, is that the? No, wait, no, I'm thinking of something else. Okay, I gotta look up Glove and Boots.
This weird red guy and groundhog that looks like a beaver.
Okay, then I am thinking about that, but they don't review games. They just do.
Oh yeah, they have a Let's Play channel.
Topics.
And it's great.
Yeah, they have a YouTube channel where they just talk about things.
Yeah, and it's puppets doing Let's Plays. And it's really cool. And you can tell that they're older guys too, because they make a lot of references to stuff I've never heard of.
Right. Yeah, and the Red Letter Media guys too.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of the. I think that's just sort of the trend, and I did because I didn't want to really be goofy over the top. I started to put like little storylines and bits into the reviews, but
you do.
I just kind of dropped it because I was like, everyone's getting sick of the big epic things.
Oh well, I liked it when you played characters though, like in your.
I will introduce
like
a character
nerds and like that time where you played that really intentionally cringeworthy character.
Yeah, or the guy, the Spencer.
Or George Lucas, which always makes me laugh. Like, remember?
Yeah, people really like the Lucas. People really like that Lucas bit. I think I should probably have done it more.
It's so funny to imagine. It's funny because it's George Lucas. He's kind of a boring guy, to be honest. But so it's really cool. It's so funny to have him say such perverted things like touch butts for daddy, like that whole thing. Did you crack up like immediately after you recorded yourself saying that?
No, I don't. I rarely crack up at my stuff. I mean, sometimes I'll crack up when I'm writing it, but then the laughter kind of dies off, and then I got to remember what my original reaction, because then I'll get used to it, and then I'll be like, and then I'll think of all the work that goes into it, and that'll be like, okay, well, I got to remember my first reaction to this thing I did. So
you did sort of a character recently in your I just watched that video today.
Princess Melanie, or
no, it was it was the heart one, the one of the hearts.
Oh yeah.
Were you making fun of Let's Players or those commentary channels?
All of them. All of those obnoxious, shitty channels that just go, hey, it's your boy.
Oh God. Yeah. Like I was trying to think of like it reminded me of like that. Yeah. Like Markiplier, I can see what people like. I don't really watch Let's Plays. Like I can see what people would be annoyed with him, but he's a great guy from what I've like.
I've heard that there's no complaints about Markiplier. Mm-hmm. There's nothing about that. But
admittedly, he does dabble in the controversial, but he tries new stuff. I've seen some of his videos. Like he tries,
and then there's other things that bug me. Like I was watching a reaction video. Have you ever seen Turbulence?
I've seen Blasphemous HD and Jinx.
No. But have you
Thieves? By the way, God.
Have you seen Turbulence by that Team Fortress 2 animation?
I'm sorry, no, I have not.
Okay, well look at that up sometime. It's really good. It's called Turbulence. It's a little it's an animation. They got these little Saxy awards where basically you make cartoons using the Steam engine and all that stuff, and it's really good. And then I saw like this reaction video, and I've seen these guys before. It's basically like 6 people, and they just react to things. I guess that's what I thought it was. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to watch this video. They must have talked like for 30 seconds. It was a 10-minute video, and they must have had like about 1 minute worth of input. So and this thing had 600,000 views. And I was like,
it makes you sad, doesn't it?
It makes you so sad because like that's what you do. You there's 30 seconds worth of input from you. It's like review, pardon me, I hit the microphone. Like review, Red Letters Media review is actually like the perfect format for that because they'll show the video, they'll show the important parts of the movie, but then they'll go back to them doing their little roundhouse discussion.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen them. They did a reaction. I think this is the same guys. It's like they did a reaction to like an episode of the Nostalgia Critic, which is really weird. That's like
it's anything that's popular. It's anything that's popular at the time, and they'll do a reaction video. But
who reacts to a review? That's just what.
You know, one thing I do like reaction videos, and that's where people take their phone at a convention and they'll film like the audience response to
the Bronies React guys. I don't even watch My Little Pony, and those guys are hilarious.
No, but I'm saying like when Cox and Crendor they debut a new animation at a convention. Mm-hmm. I like hearing the laughter from the audience when they laugh the same things that I find are funny. I like those reaction videos, but then that's genuine reaction videos, and that's not even like it's not even the same thing as like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna look at a video, I'm gonna chuckle at the same thing. I'm gonna like laugh once in a while.
Like Fine Bros, I assume you've heard of the notorious Fine Bros.
Oh yeah, Fine Bros. That piece. That's
well. I know that what they did was completely scummy, and they're idiots. But their format is probably the best of that genre.
And their format's fine. No. Red Letter Media has the best format.
Well, I mean for reactions though, like for the whole reaction thing, they have like kids react. Like I think like it looks professional. It's not just some jackass watching like the whole video, and they don't show the videos in their entirety either, which is like Blasphemous HD does, like that kind of thing, where he just stuffs his face while he's going. Oh!
I just don't. There's always going to be people that just kind of find a way to do some like skirt by on things. Like Phil Darkside is one thing that the Super Best Friends love ragging on. Apparently he was just this Let's Player, but he was a horrible Let's Player. Oh. He didn't enjoy playing video games. You could tell he didn't enjoy playing actual video games. He did an unboxing video where he didn't actually unbox. He forgot to. He got off on a tangent and ended the video before he unboxed something.
That's actually hilarious, though.
Yeah, People are debating whether he's doing this on purpose or not. Like if he's some sort of like
something. I don't know. Okay, maybe not idiot.
That's genius or.
That's funny.
I can't even remember. Oh, why do I shy away from doing bits? Well, I just don't think they're funny. I really don't. I mean, sometimes they're funny. Like I don't like wacky characters. I mean, I do like little bits, special bits at the end of things. Like I will do one character where it was Spencer from Hot Topic.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
A Hot Topic employee, and I named him Spencer because that's Spencer's Gifts, and I grew my razor.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, my razor was dead today, so I didn't shave. But anyway, yeah, I like characters. I like little bits, but I wouldn't like it to be constant. So that's why I don't put like a wacky persona.
Yeah, like they're one joke characters. I
They
think that's
are.
fine.
They're okay. They're not
I
one
don't plan to
joke.
bring
They are
I don't plan to have like a
occasional.
Spencer's reaction video series or anything like that. Like, I mean,
No.
yeah, that's actually a great that's another great segue here. Because my next question is, what do you think of like skits that some reviewers on YouTube do these days? Like, at least like the long ones. Like, you know,
What long one? I mean, well, actually, I mainly just listen to like podcasts, and
okay.
I watch. Like I said, my main videos are like I watch anything that Red Letter Media puts out. I watch anything that Phaelus puts out. Super Best Friends and Game Grumps. I'm pretty much kind of narrowed down. Like back in the day, I used to watch anything done by anybody, but now I kind of just have a little bit of a. I test out. I'll listen to whoever, for a couple episodes. But I've trended back to just a certain few.
Well, you kind of answered the question anyway with that.
Yeah.
The thing you did already. So there's no reason why I really needed to ask that. This one's who were are your like personal heroes? That's a tip, like a. I know that's kind of like a vanilla question.
I don't know. I would say, now this is going to sound weird, but I guess heroes would just. I will say people that do inspire me.
Okay.
I will say that I don't know. It just kind of comes and goes. I don't really have like anybody that like really. I don't know. There's a saying, and I think Kirby said it. He said, every artist is another man's teacher. So Jack Kirby, he said that, pardon me. There's actually this great pencil Zine or pins, that one guy who does like famous quotes and he makes comics about them. Mm-hmm. Pencil Zen, Penzencil, or Zen Pencil or something like that. You know who I'm talking about. And I pick and choose when I see someone do something well. I'm like, ooh, that's great. When someone has a personal philosophy that rings true with me, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fair enough. I'll look into that. I don't really have a real like, oh, that's my guy kind of thing.
Like I have like my style, like when I do like a review video of my friend like every 6 months or so, we kind of do like a Red Letter Media thing, only minus the cursing and the drinking. So
right. Well, again, I say they have like some of the best,
like a half in the bag kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, yeah, you can never say that I don't ape off of people, because that's what I do. There's something I like, and then it's like, okay, well, let me try that. I mean, I think I've somewhat found my own style when it comes to making art and making videos and editing that. Because like I said, I don't find the bits funny. I don't like putting on a character, and that's not. I'm not gonna do that just because other people are doing it now, or other people are kind of starting to do that again.
Well, you don't really put on like you do like a bit for like a one joke kind of thing. Like I said,
yeah, that sort of thing.
Like with the Spencer. By the way, that's not really a character. That's just a wait. What was that?
I have a fidget spinner. I have a fidget spinner because my mother, as a gag gift, she gave it to me for my birthday. She gave me a card with a bunch of money in it, and then this.
Oh my god!
It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
When you're not doing anything.
I have like the slightly more. I have one of those. Where is it?
It's just like a stress ball.
Yeah, I know. I have something similar to that. God, is it? I don't know if it's here. Well, it's that fidget cube thing.
Oh, that thing where you press the buttons around.
Yeah, I have that. It's not, those things are kind of bad for me because I have ADHD, so it's very very distracting. Like, okay, I'm getting stressed out by working on something. Okay, this thing, but then my ADHD becomes the problem. instead of the stress, and I just
Right.
oh, look at that. Yeah. Well, like I was saying, like you do the, it's like Spence, like it works with the sketch. It's not like you're doing like that. Anyway, okay. I think we've yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. You answered the question. That's good. There we go. I don't know where I was going with that, but I was going to go on there. Okay. This one's kind of interesting. Was there ever like a DeviantArt commission? This is about your art thing. Is there like ever like a really unsettling, like what's the most unsettling like DeviantArt commission you think you've had to decline because it was like
decline or
it's like it's just okay. I'm sorry, man.
Forget. I mean, I've made it pretty clear that I don't like do different fetishes. I mean,
well, I've drawn
like very big girls and things like that. I've done. I'm trying to think about what here. Let me just look and jog my memory.
I only asked.
It was just like a year where I just did nothing but drawing and commission. I think if I know it's an artist has that one thing.
I noticed because you seem to have unknowingly done it. Because with the one with what was her name? Isabella, with the pedal thing.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. I mean, I've sort of that was the guy's thing. When he
after the fact, I heard like
I don't think I turned that down. That was weird. The weirdest one I've stumbled across is I was on DeviantArt and I was looking at find some Rebecca Cunningham drawings for references. And there was this one like really nice drawing of her, and she's in her office and she's going through files, and then she gets some dust in her nose, and she sneezes. The comic. I was like, oh, that's just a weird comic. And then I go to another one in the guy's, I move on to the next DeviantArt that's in his collection. And it's of that mouse girl from The Great Mouse Detective, the dancer.
Yeah.
And she's dancing on stage, and the little dust is kicked up, and she gets at her nose, and she sneezes. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the guy. This guy likes
sneezing.
For some reason, he thinks it's cute when girls sneeze.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's his thing. It's like there was a name for it. There was this weird name for coming across someone's fetish but it doesn't look like a fetish.
Yeah.
It was a cute tweet. It was a cute tweet comment. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know that. I know that feeling.
Oh, okay.
Just one that I had to turn down. I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. I made it pretty clear that if it's in my gallery, I'll pretty much. So
I think
that being said, I haven't really. I think diaper once. I think I've gotten a couple of those. I'm trying to think of like a really weird standout one, and that's the only one I could think of. And I've said no. I think that one's the weirdest one that I've actually turned down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wish there was like a weird story. I've seen more weird art than I've had like gotten requests for it. But like I said, if you kind of explain your work,
yeah, it's crazy. I like the mask thing with
oh yeah, again, that's relatively harmless.
Like, oh, okay.
I could see that. That's sort of a cultural thing in Japan where it's like, oh no, you've got the cootie mask on. So, okay, that's weird, but it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Do you ever take like a minute to think? Oh, this is next question. Do you ever take like a minute to think about the fact that like there's like thousands of people that really care about what you have to say, and they make fan art of you? You ever like take a minute back to realize, wow, Not to
Yeah, I'm
not
very
to like stroke your ego, but you're like, wow, that's just so awesome.
well. No, in fact, I'm kind of disappointed with myself because I don't produce as much as I should, because I know that people really do get a kick out of what I you know, I'm always really grateful when people say, "Oh boy, a new video, thank you," or like, you know, "Oh boy, I was." People will say that. People will say even when I'm just doing a stream, they're kind of like, "Oh boy, I get to sit and watch a stream," and I like the streams a lot because even though people say, "Well, that it clutters up your channel," I don't think it's. And I get to do something I like. People get to do what they like, and we get to just kind of hang out for a little bit. And yeah, it's gotten a little weird where it doesn't weird me out. I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing. And people do what they do, and that's just kind of like things that they like. So, yeah, sometimes I'm separate. I'm away from that, and I think, okay, well, I'll just make a video today because it's the thing I get to do. And then I get that response back from people saying, "Oh boy, I like this," and I'm like, oh, I'm very grateful. I am truly grateful for all my fans and all their feedback and
like this
all that.
I saw like this awesome fan art of you, like with holding up Olaf. That's just remember that there's this. You were holding up
me holding up Olaf.
Yeah, it was a fan. You're you.
When was that?
On it. It might have been a few years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Olaf. I think I remember which one that is. Yeah. Okay.
There's like stuff on Instagram too. Well, there's like two. I found 2 fan arts of you on Instagram, and you're not even on that site. So I think that's really cool.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I
mean, how do you like? How do you react to that? Like, you see fan art, like,
I think it's a great.
Okay, that's a better way to phrase it. It's like, how did you react like the first time you saw like someone did fan art of like you? Like,
oh, the first time I was enthralled, of course. It was and it was like a really nice one. It was the profile pic that I still use on YouTube today.
That was made by a fan. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was made by a fan. Because I liked it, and it looked like it was. I never kind of. I was like, okay, that's like a really good drawing. I don't want to draw myself right now, or ever. So that was like the best. I think the best representation of something that I saw that someone else did. I mean, every time I draw myself, it's in a weird, different style, like on a title card. So I was like, okay, well, this is great. I like this. I'm going to use this.
Like you drew yourself as Dilbert for that comics one. That was pretty.
Yeah, I did that, and then in the Adventure Time style and all sorts of weird, different things.
Yeah, that was I just think that's cool. Like I remember, like I'm in a very obviously I don't have as many fans as you do, but I remember there was this time like I was on Instagram.
Well, you got more views than me. I know that.
Wait,
those Lego movies are great.
Oh, well, yeah, but people don't make like fan art of me, and like people like my stuff, but people love you, man. Like,
well, yeah, but your videos get around more, and people love Legos, and you do great jobs with that. You do excellent quality with the animation.
Like, well, actually, I get from other Lego animators, like my friends. I get a lot of compliments on my acting and storytelling, but the people kind of point out, like I get crap from other brick filmers on my frames per second. It's like I don't do very well with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, why? I mean, well, frames per second. So, well, you don't shoot at 30, or?
Well, I don't really. I just shoot as many pictures as I can. I don't actually have like a full FPS, like 15 frames per second. Everyone, that's like the standard, and I don't really do that, and I get crap.
Hold on, there's a program. I'm trying to think. I bought it. I bought it for like $15 because it was at a Staples one time. It was like a stop motion animation program, and it set up your frames and everything like that. I'll look into that, and I'll see if I could give you the name of it. It's probably discontinued now, but if it is, then I'll just. You got a PO box or anything?
Oh, you want to send me it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. If it's not continued, if it's discontinued,
well,
this was years and years ago. And it's basically where it's a stop motion. You set up your studio, you take a picture, you set up for as much as it can.
I
think it works the frames out for you.
I don't have a PO box, but I could.
Yeah, we'll work something out, but I'll look into it. I'll see if I still have it.
It's just I live with my parents, so I don't really know if I could.
Right. Okay, I understand, but I'll look up I'm pretty sure that the software, even if it's discontinued.
Hey, there's this guy I met on the internet, and he wants me to.
Yeah.
He says he'll give me something. I just need to give him our address, and I don't.
No. I did that one time with a really, 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 really good friend that I knew for years. But no, I understand. But yeah, I'll give you the name of the program if I can find it. I mean, it seemed like it was a really. I used it like a handful of times, but it seemed like it was a really good stop motion animation program.
Well, all right. Well, as I was saying, I remember one time I was on Instagram and I commented on this kid's picture, because we're all of us Brick Filmers are on Instagram. We to advertise our stuff.
Right.
And that's what we're called, by the way, Brick Filmers, Lego animators, Brick.
Yeah, there was a Brick Director in the comments a few I don't know, about half an hour ago.
Yeah. Well, and I left a comment, and then a few minutes later, he screenshot it and posted oh my God, Skinny Zach Films commented on one of my pictures, and that was wow.
Yeah, you see, that happens. That happened to you, and you deserved it. People know who you are within the community. People know who I am. People really.
I just thought that was so cool. Okay, there's lightning outside, so we might have to speed this up because I'm worried it'll take the power off, and I don't want that to happen. But we'll go through some of the other ones. There's only 2 left. Oh, any memorable fan interactions online? I just mentioned the one I just mentioned.
There was one time where Joe. I think I can. There's lots of Joes, but there was one fan who he had. I've talked to him before, and then there was this big earthquake where he lives, and I think it was the first time I jumped on and actually I just talked to him because I wanted to make sure that he was okay. It was a nice evening because he brought on 2 of his friends. Those 2 friends have since gone on to be married. So we had a really nice evening of kind of talking him down, making sure he was okay after that happened. And that kind of forged a friendship with just talking to him from now and then. I also do the same thing with another friend. He asked me. We did a bunch of commission work he did a bunch of commission work from me, and then he wanted to talk to me on Skype, and I did. So I said, yeah. It's usually something I don't do. Because I can't spend a lot of time talking to just everyone on Skype. That's why I have the stream. But then we've since become good friends, and one fan. Let's see. I don't have anyone. No one has ever come up to me and said, "Oh, you're CR," or "You're great."
Do you ever go to conventions or anything like that, or?
No, I actually haven't been to a convention in a while. I once took a picture of someone who was dressed as Dr. Insano.
Oh.
But he didn't know who I was, so that was a little disappointing. But it was also a year after I joined, so I was like, oh well. No, I haven't had any really.
No one even the big movie.
The what?
I just when you did To Boldly Flee with Diana Lawson, the really
Yeah, but no, not even then. No one has like come up to me and said, "Oh, are you that guy? Are you this guy?" No.
Oh well, yeah.
Most of my favorite paid interactions are online, and then that's wonderful because I still get those messages where it's like, "Oh yeah, I love your work and you're great."
Or get asked by a 22-year-old to be on a live stream with you.
I've actually been on the first episodes of a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. There was I've been on a lot of first podcasts, and I'll say that.
Okay, that's cool. We might have to wrap this up because the thunder is making me very nervous.
Okay.
Any big projects that you're currently working on?
Well, I've just learned how to sort of animate in this little. It's kind of like it's called Anime Studio, and so I'm not really working on any huge projects, but I'm making a lot of headway with learning how to use different programs. Other than that, I've got a bunch of familiar faces that I haven't even filmed yet.
Oh.
So that I'm working on that. Nothing. It's kind of just kind of going the course.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Like Death's Head, you need to do that one.
Yeah, I need to do a Death Heads episode.
I'm not really like you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just saying. I think it's.
Well, no, it sounds like an interest. I mean, it's basically Marvel getting a hold of a bunch of these different licenses, creating the character part. Creating a character, wanting to then keep on holding on to that character, but then using other licenses to transfer them to different, like their main. It sounds cool. It sounds like a cool premise for a character because he shows up in Transformers. I assume at some point they lose the Transformers license, so they transfer him to the Doctor Who license that they have, and then from that into their regular canon.
Oh, and I gotta give a shout out because there's no like he only exists in comics. There's no cartoon or movie or anything, but there is one guy who happens to be a Lego animator, and he's basically the first person to play this character
outside of. And that's cool.
Lisa is a nut, or you could look up Lego Death's Head.
Lego's Death Head. Okay, I'll look that up.
And his voice, he's the first person, like whenever I read the comic, because he's the only basis I have for like the voice of the character, and I hear his voice that he did in that video. My shout out to Aaron Good, he's awesome. So yeah, I would recommend checking that out. Lego Death's Head and Death's Head comics, obviously. So let me know if you check it out. That would be great.
I will.
Live stream or on DeviantArt, that'd be great. Anyway, so I think we're gonna wrap this up because the lightning is about to give me a heart attack because I'm terrified. So because I'm worried it's gonna cut off my internet.
Right.
Stop broadcast.
That's cool.
Then it won't. Okay, so thank you so much, Chad, for being on this. This has been great.
Oh yeah, it's been. I loved it. Thank you for having me as your first guest. This is wonderful.
And thank you so much for being my first guest. I'm a huge fan of yours. I watch your stuff all the time. I've probably watched the Geek episode. Like, oh God.
I hear it now. I didn't hear it before. Now I hear it. Okay.
Yeah, I've watched the Geek episode like a gazillion times. Like, it's great. And thank you so much. I hope you have a nice day. And goodbye. I'm about to lose it. Later.
Okay. You be safe.
All right.
See ya.
All right.